If I talk about the harm of a system like Alcoholics Anonymous, is that me bad-mouthing? Or is that the system is a bad mouth? The system is a bad system. You see what I mean? Is talking about the harms harm? Or are the harms harm? It sounds like you're trying to silence a dissenter, bro. Hello, welcome to the Sobriety Bestie podcast. My name is Kirsten. I am your hostess here today out in the woods for another episode of Culty Comments. And by the way, Culty Commenters is never about the commenter themselves because quite frankly, they're boring, right? They're just spitting out the AA ideology. There's no individual there. There's no critical thinking there. It's like generic. So it really could be anybody. This is not about them. This is about our own deconstructing AA process. So this guy says, Jim Jones was a cult leader. He killed people. AA has saved millions from a hopeless state. Why badmouth something that helps people? Acknowledge that it didn't work for you and move on. Your message could kill people. Okay, yes, Jim Jones was a cult leader who killed people. He gave them the Kool-Aid, as we all know. But let's be honest, this culty commenter is a little bit drunk on the AA Kool-Aid. He says, AA has saved millions from a hopeless state. How do you know? That's a random number to be picking, isn't it? Saved millions, so that's at least 2 million, right? What do we know about being able to use statistics? Normally what happens, little quick stats review here from a former stats geek, right? You randomly sample people from a population and then you infer from that random sample what the population might be like based upon your random sample. Usually it's double blind, so the people who are in the trial, maybe especially if it's like drugs, they get a placebo or whatever, they don't necessarily that they know they're in, or however you do it. But just to say that AA has saved millions of people, which millions? What survey are you referring to? Which data are you referring to? How is this anonymous groups being tracked? I was never tracked in AA. So who are these millions of people? And if we know that AA has about a 5% success rate, that's the going rate no matter where you look, right? So these 2 million, is that 5% of the total whole from AA? Is that what you mean? Then we have to wonder how many people have ever totally been in AA, that is it even possible that 5% of that number is actually 2 million? Were there 40 million people in Alcoholics Anonymous ever total? And that's only if your millions is 2 million. You said millions, so I'm giving you like the lowest number, which would be 2 million. Maybe you mean even more than that. So where are these millions of people that have been saved? If you can send that little link below to the research study that you're talking about, or is this just your idea? Because here's the thing that a lot of AAs seem to do. I'm sure you've seen it on the internet. I've seen it on the internet. I've heard it inside AA. They like to say, we've saved millions of people or millions of lives or whatever. It's a parroted thing. It's like part of the loaded language. It's part of what is it called? Propaganda. It is AA propaganda. This is not reality. It's AA propaganda that they've saved millions of people. Otherwise, point me in the research study where this was actually concluded, that these people have been saved. So it doesn't exist. So I don't know what you're saying, bro. Then he continues, why badmouth something that helps people? Just because you don't understand a problem, like deconstructing AA, or the harms within AA ideology, not even talking about the abuse that some of us experience, I mean the abuse from the actual system. Just because you don't understand the problem doesn't mean that it doesn't exist and that people need actually to solve that problem. There are people out here who have been harmed from AA ideology. I've been making videos online for like 7 or 8 weeks now, almost 2 months. And I'm realizing through making these videos and doing the research that I still have more AA in my head. I'm still deconstructing it myself. I was in AA for 10 years. I left 5 years ago. Honestly, I wasn't even thinking about AA for years. The first year for sure I was deconstructing hardcore. And then I just kind of like moved on with my life. And now that it's back in my center and I'm talking about it, I'm realizing I have more freedom available for me. I got more AA in my head to get out. So if you say, why badmouth something that helps people? Am I badmouthing AA? What does that mean? Does AA help people? Who and how? Is it also harming those people? Is it binary? It helps and that's good. Or is it a spectrum where everybody who goes is harmed everybody who goes into the ideology, not if you just go to 1 or 2 meetings, right? But if you go into the ideology, I would argue that everybody is harmed by Alcoholics Anonymous. It's a harmful ideology. You have to believe you have a fatal progressive disease, that you have this forever recovery model, that you have to free labor for Bill forever to leave us to die. When you're powerless, you can't trust your own thinking, so your self-trust is eroded and you're not allowed to critical think. Of course, some people are going to be doing more of these or less of these things than others. It varies by person to person. I would argue that anybody who goes into the ideology of Alcoholics Anonymous, who is indoctrinated into it, is harmed by AA. So you're saying, why badmouth something that helps people? My other thought here is talking about the harm of a group, of a system, if I talk about the harm of a system like Alcoholics Anonymous, is that me bad-mouthing? Or is that the system is a bad mouth? The system is a bad system. You see what I mean? Is talking about the harms harm? Or are the harms harm? It sounds like you're trying to silence a dissenter, bro. Acknowledge that it didn't work for you and move on. But here's the catch. It did work for me. If we are going to be binary about this, which let's admit most people are in AA, did AA work for me? Well, if we're only looking at whether or not I got and stayed sober, yeah, AA worked for me. I have not had a drink since I went to Alcoholics Anonymous. My first meeting was in September 2009, or actually it was October 2009. I went when I was a couple weeks sober, when I was in rehab. I have not had a drink since I went to rehab or since I went to Alcoholics Anonymous. So did AA work for me? If you mean did I stay sober, yeah, AA worked for me. AA also worked on me. And these videos are talking about how AA works on us. What do we give up? We give up our agency, our autonomy, our authority. We're literally outsourcing our power to a spiritual being, a higher power, a group of drunks, a doorknob, a sponsor, other people in the group. It's coercive control. AA didn't work for me. Where did you hear that? You believe that because I am critically speaking about Alcoholics Anonymous now, because you are not critically thinking about it, because you're probably in it. Otherwise, you wouldn't really care and comment, right? And so you can't see the harms. So you think the person who's talking about it is disgruntled, wasn't helped by it, is bad-mouthing. No, I was totally, if we're only looking at binary sobriety, I was totally then binary. Yes, I was helped by AA. I got sober. I've heard that Alcoholics Anonymous success rate is about 5%, right? And then we know that spontaneous remission is also 5% or even more, depending upon where you look. So would I have stayed sober if I didn't go to AA? Hard to say. If AA got me sober, or if that moment that I looked in the mirror and that I knew that I was dying and I knew that I couldn't keep doing this, and I literally said to myself the day that I signed up for rehab, I can't keep doing this. Was that what got me sober? Was it a spiritual experience that got me sober? A shift in consciousness, a moment of clarity, of awakening, where I said, fuck this shit, I can't do this anymore. Well, I literally said, I can't keep doing this. And then I was calling up rehabs, flying down to the rehab, going to AA meetings. It was that moment that enough was enough. I couldn't keep doing what I had been doing, that my life changed. So was that AA that changed my life? It's arguably that AA didn't even do that for me, that AA did not get me sober, that my spirit did, my intuition did, something inside of me that I did. And so, did AA get me sober? Well, technically, I think my spirit did. He continues with the line that they love, which is to call me a murderer, or anybody who dissents as a murderer. Your message could kill people. My message is that your group is harmful. This is classic Cult 101. To blame people, literally to call them a murderer, if they are dissenting and pointing out how the group is harmful, how the cult religion is harmful. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of what exactly you're in. Alcoholics Anonymous is a cult religion. It is not a good system for sobriety, period. Alcohol addiction is very serious. It does kill people. People die from addiction. The thing is that when you believe AA is saving lives, then you believe a dissenter is taking lives or killing lives. it doesn't mean that it's true. It means that you've been indoctrinated into a high control, coercive control system that made you to believe that they saved your life, which you probably do right now, commenter. Like, I kind of believed when I was in AA, and now I'm realizing that's part of the indoctrination. But just because you believe that you're in a life-saving system doesn't mean that that's reality. It's a harmful system. And I think in 2025, we should be able to talk about coercive control, manipulation, abuse. We're smart now. As a society, we've woken up. Everywhere we look, there's like cult stuff it's in the air. It's in the culture. It literally is. I watched a TV show yesterday on Netflix. It was called Sirens. Have you seen that? Let me know in the comments. It's the #1 show on Netflix right now. And it has like all this cult stuff in it. We're waking up more and more to what coercive control can look like. So get used to us. Only more and more of us are going to be talking about the harms that are happening in the rooms. Is it badmouthing? Is it killing people? Or is it actually helping people? If your group is harmful and we're talking about it, are we the ones that are causing harm? Are we the ones that are killing people? I don't think anybody in the rooms can hear me. I'm not speaking for them. Just breaking down the culty comments out in the woods today because these people really believe this. Their minds are controlled. Their thoughts have been reformed. They're inside the ideology. It sounds like bananas to me outside of the ideology, but I get it because I used to be in there. So my question is, what do you think? What are your thoughts? You know, what's interesting is like below this, I think this was the one where below this people were saying, is this going to become a culty comment? Yes, this became a culty comment because there is a lot in here to unpack. What did I miss? Share it with me below. What's your experience? And as always, I wish you much peace and much freedom on your journey of deconstructing Alcoholics Anonymous. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.